And I ran for the U.S. Senate against Hillary. This program is the 21st century, and I'm still running against Hillary, and I seek your help. This is a call-in show. Some people love this show, they're delighted, and some people are infuriated. But we have action, we have live things going on. The first thing I would like to read to you is about the Arabs. I know many of you out there are Arab sympathizers, and I know many of you hate America and you're for the Arabs, like the movie stars in Hollywood, Arab Hollywood I call it. This is by Thomas Friedman of the New York Times. I'm a little surprised. I'm not really for his policies, but this is what he wrote. A few days later, 150 people who were gathered for a ribbon-cutting ceremony at an emergency ward in the main government hospital. At a hospital, a few days later, somebody blew it up. A suicide bomber blew up, and I don't know how many people it killed, but this was for an award for the hospital. This is for Iraqis. This is for fellow Arabs. So the suicide bombers don't care about Arabs at all. A few days later, at a Baghdad college, this is a college student, a female Arab suicide bomber blew herself up among the students, killing 40 people. So Arabs care nothing for children, they care nothing for education, nothing for college students. Then stop for another moment and listen to the silence. The Bush team is mute. It says nothing because it has no moral authority. Mr. Bush is losing the PR war to people who blew up the emergency wards. Europeans are mute, lost in their delusion that this is all George Bush's and Tony Blair's fault. But worst of all are the Muslims. The very people whose future is being killed are also mute. Is this going on? No surge can work in Iraq unless we have a moral surge. It's terrible. The Arabs are not saying anything. As you know, in America, the Arabs are cowards, and they're ready to kill us at any time, unless you're a fool, and most of you are dreaming. Because when the Arabs are confronted with this, the Arabs in America keep their mouths shut because their future plans to murder us. Nobody in the Arab world has the guts to say that what is happening in Iraq is wrong, that killing school children is wrong, killing young people, killing college students is wrong. I'm going to read a poem here. When you cannot find a single garden in your city, but there is a mosque on every corner, you know you are an Arab country. When clerics are referred to as scholars, don't be astonished, you are an Arab country. When you find that the large majority of people oppose freedom and find joy in slavery, do not be distressed, you are an Arab country. When you discover that a woman is worth half of what a man is worth or less, do not be surprised, you are an Arab country. This is what's going on with the Arab world. I want to talk to you about a few other things. Condoleezza Rice, the Secretary of State, she's in South Korea, and the foreign ministers are talking. They made a pact with North Korea not to keep with nuclear energy, nuclear bombs is what they're afraid of from North Korea. And the countries involved are diplomats from South Korea, the United States, Japan, Russia, and China are working to make sure North Korea abides by its word. I told you last week that China is saying to North Korea, stop it, you stupid little kids. You will bomb America when we tell you to. Meantime, we are fooling the Americans as Chinese. We're cheating them, we're lying, and we have General Motors and Ford because all they think about is money. We know that. We know in America money is primary. Diplomacy, maybe. Sex, all the time. But patriotism in a democracy is a sham, and I'm going to go into that. On Thursday, the U.S. envoy to North Korea, human rights They're worrying about the human rights in North Korea. So we again are telling people how to take care of their countries. Japan, I understand, has many people 100 years old, of course. Japan does nothing but take from us. Again, I want to show you this. I'm going to go from one point to another. Remember this? I want you mothers out there to listen, and you fathers for children. The German Nazis are going to pay for their college education after 40 years of American money helping the Nazis, the Japanese, the French, and many of the Arab countries. Our money is helping. They're getting free college education, and that's what I want for American children, and I'm getting a tremendous amount of flack. Yes, a lot of flack from the people you hear on television and radio. They're copying a lot of my lines, incidentally. I want you to know that. Yes, they have their little spies from Harvard and Yale. They're writing down things. This is what Tom Thomassin says. Use it. And that's the way they work. But they're coming down on me because I am pro-American. I believe in democracy and freedom. The Democrats are backing away from the Iraq plan. Do you remember? You out there. You voted for the Democrats, didn't you? Oh boy, let's get rid of Bush. Let's get the Democrats in there. Pelosi and her grandchildren and her children, Pelosi and Harold Reid, the thief, goes to boxing matches, gets $1,000 tickets, free, no investigation, because he's the head of the Democratic Senate. And Pelosi's head of the congressional men, the other 435 people. They can't even have a policy, even though they said to you they were going to do something, and you believe them. I told you the Democrats are wimps. They lie to get into office, and you believe them. They are not stopping the war as promised. It's terrible. It's terrible how they lie, and we have to pay the ultimate price. It's just a shame. I think it's disgraceful. Because the Democrats are cowards. Let's see, take my time with this. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, Democrat of Nevada, the powerful man in Congress from a lousy little state. Gamblers, that's all. Said Monday he wanted to delay votes on a measure that would repeal the 2002 war authorization. In other words, he doesn't want to do what he said he would do. He's a coward. And you Democrats voted for the Democrats to get in. And you won. You won. The comments distanced her. This is Nancy Pelosi. Meanwhile, she said she doesn't support tying the war fund. In other words, she's stalling. Murtaugh, who also told you about how the Republicans are evil and they're going to stop the war, this is what he's doing. He has said he wants to use Congress spending power to force a change. It's not going to happen, sir. Developments on both sides of the Capitol reflect a new level of disarray in Democratic ranks on Iraq. Swept into power by voters clamoring for an end to the war, the Democrats have seen their efforts falter under a reality more complicated than they found on the campaign trail. Doesn't matter what they found on the campaign trail. Liberals listen and they obey. Am I for the Republicans? I am for a pullout of the troops in Iraq this moment. Pull them all out.